Hey gamers, Anubis from BattleStrats.com here to give you a review of Sniper Ghost Warrior. Basically, if you're like me and you like to play first-person shooters and your favorite level in the campaign is the one where you're able to put a sniper rifle in your hand and just go around and get as many headshots as possible, that's what this entire game is based on. So instead of just doing it one level, you get to do it 90% of the levels. Don't get me wrong, it's not an entire game based on sitting around camping, being stealth-like. As a matter of fact, most levels allow you to go in guns blazing.
Neutralize them.
Now with the campaign, it took me about 12 hours to complete on medium. It's about what you would expect for a $40 retail game. It was very solid gameplay. I had a lot of fun doing it. It changes it up enough to where you're not sniping the entire game. They will put an assault rifle in your hand. You're even a spotter for one level, which was probably one of my favorite levels. And actually, the developers had said before the game release that they decided not to do a co-op feature because they felt that two players wouldn't want to get together and one have to be the spotter. Well, I'll tell you what, based on that one level, I would have been the spotter. I would have volunteered. As you watch some of these clips, you're going to notice that the graphics are good. They're solid. They're not outstanding. They're not Red Dead Redemption quality. The same goes for the sound and the voice acting. You're not going to think that you're playing Mass Effect while you're playing this game. It's a little bit cheesy at times. You're going to hear the same banter over and over again from AI people, but usually they don't have long enough to talk, so it doesn't really fall that much into play. There were only two real issues I had with the campaign. One of them was the AI. Intelligence is horrible, but you know what? I've never seen a game where it was good, so I can't really knock it down too many points for that. There will be a few situations throughout the game that you're going to run into a horde of enemies, and there's going to be one or two just kind of aiming down their barrel, not really shooting, or shooting in the wrong direction type thing. But those are few and far between, and it doesn't really take away from the experience. And also the fact that the AI with their assault rifles have such awesome aim. For being incredibly stupid, they sure can kill you from a long distance with a simple assault rifle. The other issue I had was with the frame rate at checkpoint loading screens. When you're approaching a checkpoint and your game is saving automatically for you, it'll jump frame rate a little bit. But luckily, these situations only happen between sequences of action, so while you're actually in a gunfight or anything like that, this is not a problem. It's only in between action sequences when the game is saving. One of the major concerns that I had when I picked up this game for the first time was how are the controls going to feel? Are they going to be familiar to me? The answer is yes. They're exactly like a Call of Duty, Bad Company. They feel exactly the same. You're going to be using the same kind of buttons, the same sequences to pull off your shots. And trust me when I tell you that that is definitely a good thing. To be honest, when I first saw that slow motion bullet cam in the trailers, it made me a little bit nervous. I thought maybe it would be a little bit too gimmicky, something just for show to try to get people to buy the game. But actually, it makes the game a lot of fun. I find myself trying to get that perfect headshot every time just so I can see the bullet cam take place. The animations are different, the body fall is always different, and they did a really good job with it. So if you're coming out with a game called Sniper Ghost Warrior, you better make sure your sniping mechanics are solid, and they did a great job in this game. In the top right corner, you'll see your heart rate monitor. If somebody's firing at you, your heart rate goes up. It makes it harder for you to hold your gun steady. Top center is your wind gauge. If it's blowing from left to right, right to left, it's going to affect your bullet while it's in the air. Also, you'll see in the bottom center that I'm standing up. It's actually easier to get your gun steady if you're kneeling or laying down, just as it would be in real life. In easy and medium difficulties, there will be a little dot that will help you to tell where the bullet's going to go, but that dot is going to move based on wind speed, so it's not going to give you a perfect shot every time. A couple other really cool things about the game begins with the fact that you're never going to really get lost. There are these cool little checkpoint features throughout each level that's going to keep you headed in the right direction. You can feel free to explore anything outside of these checkpoint areas within the confines of the map, obviously, but it does a really good job of keeping you square for where you want to go next and how to progress through the level. Another really cool kind of different aspect to this game is it takes the squad play completely out of it. It never even pretends. So instead of playing a game that says, okay, this is a squad-based game, but you have AI people next to you that really are terrible, this game doesn't even try to do that. It says, okay, here you are, you're by yourself, get out. So you can either use stealth to try to get around your enemies, you can use your weapon to try to blast through them, but either way you look at it, you're doing it by yourself, so you better make sure that you can get out of that situation on your own. I think by saying that this game exceeded my expectations is short-selling it a little bit. The gunplay was great, the controls were awesome, the changing up of the levels from an assault to a spotter to a sniper again, the way the levels are mapped out, all of it was very well done. I had a great time playing it, and I'm actually going to go through and play it again on hard just to see if I can survive. Okay, so on to the multiplayer section of the game. If you're going to go out and buy this game just for multiplayer, I would advise you to watch this video and then also watch some of the other videos I'm going to be coming out with soon that are going to just be all about multiplayer. It's kind of a more simple version, so if you're looking for something that's going to have you upgrading weapons, going to have you unlocking weapons and stuff like that, this is not the game for you. This is something that is just, each player is going to have a similar playing field, so everybody's going to have the same one of 4 weapons. So nobody's going to be running around with a level 70 shotgun and shooting you from 800 yards away. So I guess in that regard it is a little bit refreshing. I'm going to be making a lot more videos on the multiplayer, some basic tips and stuff like that. So if you want to learn more and maybe you haven't quite seen enough of multiplayer to see if you want to buy it, definitely watch more of my videos soon. Overall, I definitely say buy the game. The campaign's great. The multiplayer definitely has some major potential. If you want to learn more, check out battlestrats.com.